Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're putting on our detective hats. We're going to fundamentally change how you look at market volume. Forget treating it as just some simple, boring metric at the very bottom of your screen. From this moment on, we are treating volume as cold, hard interrogation evidence. You see, price might tell you a super compelling story, but volume is the polygraph test that reveals whether that story is true or if it's just a complete fabrication. All right, let's jump right in.
There's this old market adage that goes, anyone can push a price around for a moment, but nobody can fake billions of dollars of real volume. And this is exactly why professionals always, absolutely always, check the volume before they believe a single thing a chart says. I mean, think about it. A rogue trader or a temporary glitch can easily cause a sudden price spike. But true, sustained institutional activity, that requires massive capital. It literally leaves an undeniable footprint.
So, moving right along, Section 1, the ultimate lie detector.
To really build on that idea, consider this point. Price can be manipulated in the short term, but participation cannot be faked. Look, in the short term, thin liquidity can make charts look totally deceiving. You'll see these wild temporary price spikes that look exactly like the start of a massive rally. But true institutional accumulation, the kind that moves markets for weeks or even months at a time, leaves a permanent, heavy footprint in the volume data. You don't need to see every single share traded to read their intent. You just need to know how to track the footprints.
Okay, Section 2, Measuring the Evidence.
Now, you might be wondering, how do we actually measure this stuff? Well, it's absolutely crucial to understand that not all volume is reported equally. In centralized markets like your typical stocks or futures, we have what's called real volume. Every share or contract traded is tracked perfectly. But over in decentralized markets like Forex, there is no central exchange to count every single dollar. So instead, traders use tick volume, which basically just measures how many times the price ticked up or down during a given period. Actually, scratch that. It's not a literal count of contracts, it's just a proxy for activity.
Okay, let's dive into this comparison, because this brilliantly illustrates the whole difference. Imagine 50 retail traders each scrape together just enough to buy one contract. The tick volume registers as 50, and the real volume is 50. Now imagine a massive institutional whale swoops in and executes one massive trade of 5,000 contracts. The tick volume only registers one single tick, but the real volume completely explodes to 5,000. This is exactly why real volume is the ultimate tool to reveal the heavy hitters. Tick volume shows activity, sure, but real volume, that shows pure financial force. Which brings us to Section 3, Interrogating the Breakout.
Time for a quick little retention game. Imagine you're staring at two identical price breakouts on a chart. Both just broke through major resistance and they look incredibly bullish. But which one didn't collapse into a trap? Which one actually held its ground? Was it breakout A or breakout B? Just hold your answer in your head for a second.
Okay, ready for the reveal? If you guessed breakout A, you hit the nail on the head. A breakout backed by expanding volume is confirmed by real market participation. Breakout B, on the other hand, is what we call a hollow breakout. It pushed higher on shrinking volume, and that is highly suspicious. A volumeless breakout is often just a quick run on stop losses, you know? It triggers retail traders to buy right before the smart money ruthlessly reverses the price on them.
So what's the mathematical proof we actually need to trust a move? Well, you want to look for a relative volume, or RVOL, of greater than 1.5 times, meaning the volume on the breakout day should be at least 1.5 times the normal 20-day average. Breakouts with volume blowing past this threshold are historically way more likely to succeed. Without that fuel, guys, the breakout is literally running on fumes.
Let's shift gears now to Section 4, Exhaustion and the Climax.
An exhaustion climax is a fascinating market event. It's exactly like a suspect finally breaking down under intense pressure in the interrogation room. It's totally fueled by extreme emotion. You'll see this parabolic, almost vertical price trend accompanied by extremely heavy volume spikes. What you are witnessing right there is capitulation. In a downtrend, it's terrified, weak-handed traders finally throwing in the towel and panic selling at the exact bottom. In an uptrend, it's euphoric buyers rushing in right at the very top. And the smart money, they happily take the other side of these trades, leading to a really sharp price rejection.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the concept of high volume churn right there at the bottom of the table. You see massive volume, right? But the price barely moves. A seasoned trader once described high volume churn as the brakes on a car. The market hits the brakes, massive effort is being exerted by buyers or sellers, but the result is zero price progress. This friction almost always signals a major turning point at market tops or bottoms.
Okay, moving on to Section 5, Footprints of Quiet Accumulation. So, the market moves in these very distinct cycles, famously outlined by Richard Wyckoff over a century ago. It starts off with an accumulation phase of quiet buying, followed by a markup phase where prices rise, then a distribution phase of quiet selling, and finally, a markdown phase. And volume tells a completely different, highly revealing story at each one of these specific phases.
To actually spot that quiet accumulation, you want to look for these 3 steps, which were heavily popularized by trader Mark Minervini. First, you'll see the price rally on high volume, but step 2 is the secret sauce. When the price pulls back, the volume dries up dramatically, dropping to maybe 40 to 60% of the average. Now, a lot of people think low volume on a drop means a lack of interest. No way. It actually means a total exhaustion of sellers. And once those sellers are gone, boom, step 3 hits, an explosive price breakout on 150% volume or more.
Finally, let's wrap this up with Section 6, Context, not a crystal ball.
The absolute key takeaway here is Wyckoff's law of effort versus result. Think of it like this. Volume is the effort, price is the result. If you see massive volume on a down candle, but the price doesn't actually drop much, you have high effort and basically no result. That means smart money is quietly absorbing all that panic selling. Volume is not a standalone crystal ball that predicts the future, all right? But it is the vital context that either verifies or flat out rejects whatever claim the price is trying to make.
So stop trading rumors, subscribe, and give every chart a polygraph test. Never ever trust a price move without checking the volume evidence first. Because if the volume isn't there, the move just isn't real. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Before you go, ask yourself this. Look at your last 3 losing trades. If you had interrogated the volume beforehand, would you still have taken them? See you next time.